6 p.m. One of the busiest highways in Nigeria. A fully loaded commercial bus. And in less than 60 seconds, everything goes silent. On Saturday evening, April 18, 2026, the Benin-Lagos Expressway was alive the way it always is at that hour. Engines humming. Horns calling. Travelers chasing time before nightfall. It's that golden hour when the sun softens, but the tension on Nigerian roads quietly rises. Inside a white Toyota Hiace bus from GUO Transport, life felt ordinary. Conversations. Phone calls. Maybe someone dozing off. Maybe someone texting, "I'll be there soon." No more. Until the road bent into a place many drivers already fear, the Iguobazuwa stretch. That corridor isn't just road, it's reputation. A place where the forest doesn't just sit beside the highway, it feels like it's listening. And watching. Then it happened. No warning. No roadblock in sight. Just the sudden, violent eruption of gunfire. Not random shots, controlled bursts. Precise. Intentional. The windshield didn't just crack, it exploded inward. The driver, a man who had likely driven that same route countless times, became the first target. The first casualty. Hit instantly. No struggle. No reaction. Just gone. The steering went loose. The bus lurched. And within seconds, the journey ended in chaos. Then came the silence. That heavy, unnatural silence that follows violence. And right behind it, movement. The doors were forced open. This wasn't theft. This wasn't panic. This was planned. The attackers moved fast, like men who had done this before. No shouting, no confusion. Just cold coordination. Passengers were dragged out. One by one. Some screaming. Some frozen. Some still trying to understand what was happening. But understanding didn't matter anymore. They were pulled off the road and into the forest. And then, something even more chilling. They didn't take everyone. Inside the bus, among shattered glass and spreading blood, one woman was left behind. Not saved. Abandoned. Shot. Bleeding. Barely moving. She wasn't spared out of mercy, she was left because she couldn't keep up. Too weak to walk. Too injured to be useful. So they left her there, as the only witness. As the kidnappers disappeared into the dense Edo bush, the sounds faded quickly. Footsteps. Voices. Struggle. Then nothing. Just the ticking sound of the engine cooling. And one survivor, lying in the wreckage of what used to be a normal trip. By the time help would eventually come, the reality had already settled in. A driver dead behind the wheel. Passengers gone without a trace. A bus sitting quietly on the roadside, like nothing happened. But everything had happened. This is the reality of the Iguobazuwa axis. Where journeys don't always end. Where forests keep secrets. And where, at exactly 6:00 p.m., an ordinary road can turn into a crime scene in under a minute. And as night fell on that stretch of the Benin-Lagos Expressway, another vehicle was already approaching the same bend. The gunshots lasted seconds. But what came after is what shook an entire nation. Because once the smoke faded along the Benin-Ore road, the story didn't end, it evolved. The attack on that bus was only phase one. What followed was psychological warfare. Within hours, the crime scene moved. From the blood-stained asphalt of the Iguobazuwa stretch to something far more powerful. The internet. Phones began to ring. Families began to panic. And then, one video surfaced. A video that didn't just go viral. It hurt. In that clip, there's no background music. No editing. No filter strong enough to hide the pain. Just a mother. Broken. Begging. Negotiating in public. This is Christiana's mother. And what you hear in her voice isn't just fear, it's desperation pressed against a deadline. Because somewhere deep inside the Edo forest, her daughter is alive. And the price placed on that life. 50 million Nigerian Nairas. 50 million Naira. Say it slowly. For some, it's a number. For her, it's a wall she cannot climb. A widow being asked to produce a fortune overnight. That's not a ransom. That's a verdict. This is where the story changes. Because the kidnappers didn't just take people. They created pressure. Every call. Every hour. Every second that ticks. It tightens. And while one side is counting down, the other side is scrambling to stay human. But just when the public began to rally, something unexpected happened. Something that made the entire situation even darker. The transport company at the center of it all, GUO Transport, released a statement. Short, clean, corporate. But the message? Explosive. They claimed the bus left Lagos empty. Empty. Let that sink in. Because now, a new question enters the story. If that bus was empty, who were the people dragged into the forest? Who is Christiana? And how did she end up in a vehicle that, on paper, didn't carry passengers? This is where fear turns into mystery. Because we're no longer just dealing with an ambush. We're dealing with contradictions. A grieving mother versus a corporate record. A viral video versus an official statement. And in the middle of all this noise, there's a young woman walking barefoot through the forest. Not as a traveler anymore. Not as a daughter. But as leverage. A bargaining chip worth 50 million Nigerian Nairas. Think about that. One day, you're on a routine trip. The next, your life is being priced, negotiated, reduced to numbers in a phone call. As the hours pass, the gap widens. Between truth and denial. Between hope and reality. And somewhere in that forest surrounding Iguobazuwa, Christiana is still there. Waiting. Because this is no longer just a story about a highway attack. It's about a system where people can vanish. And the truth can vanish with them. And as night falls again over the Benin-Ore road, one question refuses to go away. Is this just a kidnapping? Or is there something far bigger hiding in the silence?